We're Christians, but we live life by the red letters. We believe that Black Lives Matter. We are pro-choice, and we are unapologetically 100% allies, supporters to the LGBTQIA plus community, and that will never change.
Yeah.
We're like radical progressive.
Yeah.
Hear me out, you little...
Just hear me out. Hear me out.
Just hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3.
That was terrible.
Do you? Would you like to try it?
No, you do it.
1, 2, 3.
There you go.
It's always the second one.
Action.
Why the fuck? Action. Okay. Hey, you and you. Welcome to. Okay, so hear me out. Are we too far away from the TV now?
No, I'm not. I'm good.
You got your space, so you're happy. You're
I
good to
do
go.
have my space. I don't feel so
Cramped.
Yeah.
A little more.
Yeah, more breathing room.
Okay. All right, so as you can plainly see, we've got the studio revamped just a little bit. More space, new chairs. You can't really see it, but I've got a new table, so there's no table in the way. So now you get to see. I guess you can't see her. Just see. Foot finder. Feet finder. Okay. I'm starting OnlyFans for my feet. And yeah, everything else should be pretty much the same. Except for Riley, she's running around the floor. She didn't want to relax today.
Yeah, she was just home by herself for a little bit, so
so she's all riled up.
Yeah.
Riley's riled up.
Yeah.
So would you want to say where the fuck we've been the last couple weeks?
In bed.
Yeah, we've been suffering.
Yeah, you were first.
I got hit by
you got hit by Sam's cold, and then Leia got it. And no, Leia got it, then Sam got it, then you got it, and then I was the last one. So I'm still a little under the weather. I'm still not 100%, so
yeah.
I might not be my regular sunshiny self.
Gonna try to bang one out?
Yeah, we're just gonna... I can't! Anyway, as I was so rudely interrupted, I'm still a little under the weather. Been really fighting this, whatever this is, that's going around.
I think it's a super AIDS.
It was, I had it, and then it was gone, and then it like came back full force.
What you had first was what I had.
Yeah.
What you got now
is completely
I don't know
different.
what the fuck that is.
It's, I said to you today, it's like
it's an Egyptian curse, I think.
It almost feels like the common cold with a mix of COVID and the beginning of strep.
Oh my God.
So it's like I feel like I feel like I'm on the edge of like the beginning of a really bad cold, but it won't hit.
Right.
Like that's what it's like. It's like it's there, but it's not there, and it's very frustrating because it's like either like anyway.
So if you decided to be mean to me while you're in this sickness, would it be called a strep tease?
Say hello to everybody, Riley.
My God, that's all coming through. Get in your bed, babe. Get in your bed. Check that Riley cam out. Yeah, look at her. Oh, she's so cute. As you can see, I've got it professionally hung with zip ties on the TV cable. Now you can get up close and personal with Riley Rue. All right, so anyway, we're back. We're healthy.
One is.
Yeah, healthy-ish. We're getting
healthy
there.
adjacent.
But the new desk came in yesterday, so we figured, fuck it, let's get one in. So what you want to do? Comments?
Same as always.
Same as always.
For somebody who's married to a wife with OCD, like you're very, like...
It's not just the fact
Oh, you want to do the comments? Like you're surprised. Riley.
What's she doing?
She almost fell.
She's getting too big. Too big for that bed? Do we need something else?
We need something water. Okay, come on.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. So, we'll start with the comments. Garter toss. What the fuck? Oh, it's from the wedding in Egypt. That was a while ago. So, first comment comes from Robin Nolan. This is about no hunger pangs. Mm-hmm. You don't get any signals. There is no signs. It's either ain't hungry or soon going to hit the floor. You're that shaky and weak all of a sudden. Did you break it? Just tighten it up. There you go. Oh my God. She's not having it.
No, she's not having it. Die.
Okay.
She's not feeling the
so there's your first comment, Robin Nolan.
Yeah.
No signs, hungry, or going to hit the floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Welcome to ADD.
ADHD, babe.
I don't know what variant you got.
You don't know anything.
I will end with that one. Tori said, "Where'd you guys go?"
Oh, baby, we're here.
We're still here. We just
sorry.
We had to take a detour.
Yeah.
Because we were dying.
Yeah.
We're back from the dead now. On the last episode, episode 12, Santo, performance coach, says, "Great episode, guys. Pay money to see you on a trampoline." He enjoyed that one. I did too. I still would pay that.
See who on a trampoline?
You.
When were we talking about trampolines?
When you were talking about your big party back home.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'd pay money to see you on a trampoline. And our last comment comes from Tokyo Mike.
Okay.
I think this one's about, because you started school, which you can get into here, but I feel the whole frig around with distance education, but they handcuff you with course entry and timelines. That was a huge thing when I was picking where to do my schooling because I didn't want to deal with their shit. Turns out another colleague chose University of Alberta, who does stuff on their timeline. She's halfway done the same program I'm doing, and she's 12 or 14 months in. I am less than 5 because I'm completely at my own pace for learning through University of New Brunswick. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because you were saying that you got, you can't, the next course doesn't unlock even though you finish what you're doing.
Yeah, but I was complaining about that. But the program is very built for like working adults. Like,
is it?
Yeah, like it's very like you do your chapter reading and then they do the lecture in the morning at 10 o'clock and they go through the chapter with you. Like all of my exams are open book. And then we have for every course, there's one assignment that you have to do. That's it. Right? So it's not a lot of like, I was just overwhelmed because I missed the first 2 days because of work. And then this week, and then I got caught up and then I got sick. Yeah. So I missed another 2 days. So I was literally behind 4 chapters and 4 quizzes that I had to do. So I was like super stressy and was like, I'm not going to be able to do this. There's no way I can do this. And all of the things. So it's like, I think if I wasn't working and I was home all the time, it'd be different. But there's a lot of notes that need to be taken in the books because like I'm not taking like a simple course. Like I'm taking a course it's literally a crash course in psychology, addictions, the brain, trauma, everything, all condensed into 37 weeks. Yeah. Right? So like I am learning the basics of everything in 37 weeks. Yeah. And then I go into a 7-week practicum. So it's not like, so I mean, I'm very happy with the way the program is built now. I prior to that was thinking like, oh, okay, well, it's just going to be quizzes and chapter readings and there's no lectures and but like, you know what I mean? So I was like, well, what else am I going to do? Right? But like, I mean, I forgot how like avid of a note taker I am too. Like I'm very like, like my notes are crazy. Yeah. Like I'll have reference points for the rest of my career, basically, for everything.
Well, so that's not a bad thing.
No. So it just takes me 4 hours to go through one chapter. Right. So, I'm just trying to I need to get into a groove. It's just been hard because with this cold.
What?
She just shit.
Are you sure?
I can smell it.
Are you serious?
I can smell it. Oh my god, she shit really bad.
Oh my god. Okay. Are you sure? Oh. That's fine. We'll just pause it.
Riley! Where did you shit? Under the desk.
Behind my DJ booth. You bitch.
Babe, I thought I asked you not to have all this just laying around.
Babe, I was literally putting it together last night. It's just temporary.
Moving stuff, I'm afraid to move a cord. It might have shit on it. She's hiding, so she did shit somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's behind the treadmill.
Riley, did you poop? Riley. Oh my god.
Fuck am I supposed to get back there? It's like one log. Why does it smell so bad?
What?
I'm stuck. Stop. Is this still recording?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still going.
This is going in the episode. Babe.
Riley. That wasn't very good of you.
Your dad throaties.
Oh. Come on, babe.
Babe, it's just shit.
No, just...
It's just shit.
Alright.
Just poop. You need to go do a commercial. While we're doing that, but then cut back to you throwing up. Alright. It's okay, babe. Come in.
Alright. You just want to leave it there?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Hey, you made Dad sick. Yeah, you got Dad yuckies. Yeah.
Welcome back to, okay, so don't throw up. Oh, man. Riley. You smelly bitch. That was rough, bro. So, she shit behind the treadmill. So if someone would buy this fucking treadmill. Oh, so what were you saying?
The course is good. It's a good course.
Okay, so I know you were having, you seemed really overwhelmed the first couple of weeks.
Babe, it's only been a week.
Well, the first couple of days, I don't know.
Well, because I went to work.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't know what she wants to do.
And then she's so excited. Come on. Come on. Are you sleepy? If I had an ottoman, she could sleep on my legs.
Just lay down, baby.
Lay down, baby. I'm going to let you go. Okay. Go for it.
Go shit somewhere else.
There you go. Off you go. Okay. Anyway, so the problem is the Monday I had to work. So it was like, I don't trust her now.
No, right?
I had work, right? And then when I logged into the course, it was like, oh, you missed a lecture. Oh, you have a quiz to do. We're jumping into this chapter tomorrow. And then at the end of that chapter, we're going to go over your final assignment. So I was like...
It was a lot.
It was a lot the first day that I missed, but they didn't make it seem like it was going to be that much, so I wasn't worried about it until I missed it. And then I was like, oh, well, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So then I got caught up, and then fucking Wednesday, I woke up and was like... I can't move.
Yeah.
My sinuses are on fire. I'm so sick. I called in for work. I put the lecture on, I fell asleep, and I slept until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I did the exact same thing that night. I went to bed at 8 and slept till like 11 o'clock, just down in NyQuil and stuff. And I'm still
not 100%.
like, I'm still not 100%. Like, I'm still pretty, but anyway, yeah. So it was a lot. Like, it was, but once now I'm caught up on everything. I've got the first 2 parts of my assignment are handed in. There's like a interview, there's a discussion project that we have to do. I've got 4 out of the 7 questions answered on that. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm there. I'm like caught up now, but I just have to make sure that I can like.
So you're confident you're okay now?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just really hard because if I get sick, like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Right? So if anything happens, like, and in order for me to get it, like, request an extension, I need like a doctor's note.
Yeah.
And like, those things are $100 here. So
do you think, because I know you were upset that the next whatever wouldn't unlock like it does.
I don't care anymore because I won't get it. I won't be ahead as long as I'm working.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me anymore.
So it's not a thing.
It's not a thing anymore. We're over it. We've moved on. Just because, like I said, like if I wasn't working and I was sitting home full time, then yeah, it would piss me off because I would have probably had everything done by now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm like, right? So they expect 4 hours a day, Monday to Friday, and you get your course done on time. I'm the type of person who will sit there for 8 hours, Monday to Saturday. And so I would be, you know what I mean? I would double my course load in a week. So then I'd have all of next week to do nothing. Yeah. But I'm working. So I guess it's kind of good that I'm working.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
But I mean, I wish you didn't have to, because at the same time, I would prefer that if you could just focus on doing the school.
Yeah. Well, you know, here we are.
So that's it for comments. I know we talked about this video that we saw earlier this week.
You talked about it.
I did. I talked about it.
We did not.
Did you want to go over this now?
We're just going into a heavy. You want to go full
that's
heavy?
What I'm saying. Is there anything else you want to go over before we jump into it?
No, I just didn't realize we were going to do a heavy episode, but sure.
Is it going to be heavy?
This is all about trauma, babe.
I suppose.
Yeah, it's going to be really heavy, so let's go.
Okay,
Make sure you're going to have to do a disclosure.
Well, we got the disclaimer on it.
No, but you're going to have to do a disclaimer for this episode. That
it's going to be about...
Because it's now going to be about trauma and triggers. So
trauma and triggers. Specifically, parental trauma and triggers, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so if that's a thing for you. So this video came up this week of Kathy Bates, who's blown up lately because she's doing a female version of Matlock, and she's retiring when she's done. And she was on this interview talking about when she won the Oscar for Misery. And, well, I'll just play it.
When I won the Oscar for Misery, she said, "I don't know what all the excitement about. You didn't discover the cure for cancer." I forgot to thank her that night.
You know, you did thank her. At the end of your speech, you thanked her.
No, I did not. I did not. You go back and look at it. I didn't.
Friends, my mom at home, and my dad, who I hope is watching somewhere.
The fucking look on her face.
What do you think of it?
Thank you. Why did I think I didn't thank her?
That cooked me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she she realized that she actually did the thing.
Yep.
And the look on her face when it hits her, that made me bawl at work. Because this is, you learned what this actually was in school.
Yes. I learned about it this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not funny, but.
So the hippocampus in your brain, when trauma happens, the hippocampus gets smaller. And that's what controls like your... I don't have my phone with me, so I don't have the exact breakdown. Anyway, look up the hippocampus. So that will actually get smaller as trauma or stress levels go up. And then, no, is it smaller or bigger?
I would assume smaller.
And then the amygdala that controls that basically where your fear and anxiety and all of that stuff comes from gets bigger. So that then takes over. So trauma, the part of your brain that has like where all your memories are stored and all of that, your hippocampus, that literally trauma affects that part of your brain. So basically what happened was her mother basically told her that what she was doing didn't matter, right? Like she's been very open about that in several of her interviews, that her mother had said those to her a couple of times, like, Mom, I'm winning an Oscar. And she's like, you didn't cure cancer. Like, why should I care, kind of thing, right? And she says it as a playful thing, but you can tell that it's something that's affected her. And as you can tell within that video, she doesn't remember thanking her mom.
Yep.
Because the trauma of the conversation with her mom about the award supersedes the thanking her in the award.
And we knew trauma affects memory, but it's always been like negatively. Like negative memories would be affected by trauma. Like you'll block shit out, stuff like that. But that's the first time I've ever seen an example of a good memory being blocked by trauma.
So I think the one thing that people always discount when it comes to trauma and is just how tricky it is.
Yeah.
Right? Trauma has many heads, and it shows those many heads in many different ways. There's thousands of branches that come from trauma, right? So it can do so many things. For me, like, and I mean that this is, you looked at me the other night and you were like, I love watching Homicide LA or Los Angeles, and I love watching Law and Order SVU, and I love watching all of those shows about like the traumas I've gone through.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a comfort to know that I'm not alone and that it happens everywhere. It's not just in one area. SVU is a comfort in that they show the side of police that you don't normally see. And it's that department goes above and beyond to help the survivors.
Right.
And the deceased of these traumas that happen, these sexual traumas and these abuses and all of these things that happen to them. It shows the justice system actually fighting for them.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's like a peace of mind for me when I watch it. The weird part is that, like, I literally will put it on as background noise to fall asleep to.
Yeah.
That's what you find weird. You're like, I don't understand how you can, like, and I'm like, and it's weird because it's trauma. It's just what it is. Now, there's an opposite effect to that where a lot of people will come back and bite back and say, you're keeping the trauma there by watching these things and it's not helping you.
Yeah.
Because it's a constant reminder. But I'm very different when it comes to trauma because I don't want to forget my trauma. I don't ever want to forget what got me here.
Right.
I don't ever want to forget what made me who I am.
I think that's a unique perspective. I don't think everybody feels that way.
No, and a lot of people won't. Like, I heal out loud. I don't heal quietly. I heal out loud so that everybody know, like, it's you and I, me, you and Jacob were talking about this on the couch that night. And, you know, we were raised our generation was raised by a generation where you heal quietly and you do everything quietly.
Mental health wasn't really
you don't talk about your problems to anybody.
Yeah.
Your neighbors don't get to know what's going on with you. Your teacher shouldn't know what's going on with you. And that was the one cycle that I was determined to break within my family, that we need to heal out loud so that the people who don't know how to heal can find a way to heal.
Yeah. So
for me, I am very open about my trauma, and you know that. I literally, somebody will be like, oh, blah, blah. I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally, you know, I've been there, and you know, that happened to me. And they're just kind of like, they're taken aback and they're like, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's just whatever. Or you know what I mean? Or like, I'll be at work and a new client will come in and I start talking about school and they're like, what are you doing in school? I'm like, addictions counseling. She's like, oh, did you have family member? I'm like, no, I was addicted to Coke for 13 years.
Yeah.
And they just kind of go, oh. And I'm like, right, okay. So this is it. And I forget that it's not something normal to hear for everybody, right?
Yeah.
But I'm very nonchalant about my traumas and about the addictions and about all of it. Because I don't want it. I don't want that stigma to be that it's bad and that it's dirty and that it's you should hide it. We need to have the stigma around it that says you can fucking talk about it whenever you want.
Yeah.
You can speak up for everybody else around you who doesn't have a voice for them. Speak up, talk about it, make it normal, because addiction is normal. It shouldn't be. But we are in a world right now where addiction is normal.
Yeah.
It is normal to see people addicted to drugs now and alcohol and all of these things. And trauma is common. It shouldn't be, but it is. So why aren't we talking about it more? Why aren't we letting people vent about it? Why aren't we letting people feel like it's normal? It's not dirty. Being an addict is not a dirty thing. It's not bad. It's traumatic and it's sad and it's defeating at times.
Yeah.
It's, and not every addict is resilient as you and I. And not every addict is as determined as you and I were.
Yeah.
And not every addict has anything to get sober for.
No.
And they don't have that, right? So it's speaking, like talking about it and remembering it and keeping open about it is something that I'm very passionate about and I will always continue to do.
No, it's important because you have a way of breaking down the barriers that people will even be they're not off put by it. They're like you can make very, very comfortable to you make it. I don't want to say like it's not making light of it, but it's almost
relatable.
Yeah.
And that's I don't walk around bragging to people and be like, oh my God, I was in a domestic violence. I was sexually abused. No, that's not what it's like. It's literally, when in conversations where girls are like, and I know, there are people that I've met through the years that were in very abusive relationships and didn't know how to get out. And it's just in casual conversation, like, I totally feel like I get where you're coming from. 4 years ago, this is where I was.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry that that's happening to you because it took me 2 years in the court system to get my guilty verdict.
Yeah.
And it took hours of prep with prosecution and having to retell my story 17 times and then having my story picked apart for 3 hours by a guy who literally tried to tell me that the bruises on my face in the picture was my makeup.
Yeah.
Or from crying. And that
was hard to watch.
That the bruises on my ankle from this man trying to stomp on my foot and break my foot was because I was drunk and slipped on the stairs outside.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So and I did it with grace, and I did it with...
Yeah, you're amazing.
I did it with posture. I didn't falter. I didn't blink. I just did it because 2 years of this man shadowing me and driving closely behind my vehicle because he could, and showing up outside my work because he could, and just parking there and sending one of his friends in to go pick something up from Dollar, like, you know what I mean? Just stupid shit like that. 2 years. And then I finally got it. And that man is never for the rest of our lives ever allowed around me again.
Yeah.
So, and that moment, and we didn't even stay. Like, I don't know if you remember, like I gave my statement, I testified,
yep.
And I walked out. I collapsed in between the vending machines. There was a chair. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember, yeah.
Because I held my head up because I didn't want him to see me falter, and I didn't want him to see me weaken because I just didn't want him to have that. And then I've seen that chair in between the two vending machines, and I slumped for a second, and I was like, okay, let's go. And I sat in the Jeep and I broke.
Yeah.
And I bawled my eyes out, and I literally and then we left. And the victim's services girl, Amanda, was like, are you going to come back for him to testify? No.
You did your part.
I did my part. It's literally up to you guys now.
Yep.
It is what it is. And she called me the next morning and told me that I got my guilty verdict. So, I mean, and that's all I wanted. Like, you know, I just wanted it to be acknowledged that I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
And that I wasn't making this up, because he had everybody convinced that I did it to myself with a candle holder. He told all of our friends that I went psychotic and stood in our kitchen and smacked myself in the face and in the ribs all over my legs with a glass candle holder.
Yeah.
Who has candle holders like that anymore? Like, who? Anyway.
She took a candelabra to herself.
But yeah, so, you know, it's our turn to heal out loud. And that's what I think is really, really important. And there are a lot of people I know who are not doing it, and because they're afraid, and there is backlash from it.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I've gotten it. I've received it. I've, like, you know what I mean? I've gotten all of the things. I've tire slashed, Jeeps keyed, knifed, all of it. I've had it all happen, but, you know, fuck you guys.
Yeah, whatever. New set of tires.
Look at me now. Look at me now. So, yeah, it's just, you know what I mean? Trauma is just, it's such a tricky subject, because there's like so... What's she doing?
I don't know.
She's got something of yours. She's just gonna go find something else.
Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come up. All right, there you go. Just settle down. Settle down, baby.
There's so many, there's just so many different aspects to it, and the studies behind it. Like, did you know that the response your body gets from a hug and like a solid relationship is the same release of oxytocin your brain gets from doing drugs?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
so like that love, it could be feeling loved and accepted, releases the same amount of oxytocin into your brain as what drugs do.
Well, I mean, you were saying the other day that you read what addiction is the absence of an emotional relationship.
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah. It's the I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but basically, yes. Addiction is the absence of.
Yeah.
So it is the absence of a father, the absence of a relationship, the absence of love, the absence of caring. It's the absence of everything, right?
See, even though saying that, though, there's still addicts out there that, like, they have all that. They've got the perfect family, loving parents, supportive, and, like, they still made the choice to...
Yeah. But it's the absence of something.
Yeah.
So your addiction is because you're chasing something and you're filling the void of something.
So what was yours then? I mean, because we went over that yours was like just a series of casual choices. Oh, I see.
Mine was God.
Yours was that higher power.
I was chasing the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Because I had the Holy Spirit when I was younger.
And then
I got ran out of the church because I was scared.
Yeah.
Right? So I was old school Pentecost, going to a Sunday school where basically, and I had it, like I used to go to CAs, I was doing like youth groups, I was having so much fun. And this one sermon that they gave ruined it for me, because I literally was looked at and told that unless you are perfect, God will not love you.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Unless you are perfect, you don't get into heaven. And it was like, you can't swear, you can't smoke, you can't drink, you can't gamble. You have to have a perfect loving relationship. You can't, no sex before marriage. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this.
None of that makes any sense.
And to me, a 11-year-old child,
that's going to fuck you up.
I was like, who can amount to this?
Yeah.
Like, who can do this? And then I'm looking around at all of these other kids who are like, yes, Lord. And I'm like, I'm not perfect.
That's some Pharisee shit.
And it was like, in my brain then had it set that I would never be good enough, so I may as well fuck up anyway.
That goes against everything that the New Testament teaches.
But Pentecost doesn't.
I know.
They don't.
School,
Newfoundlands.
East
Like, are
Coast
you kidding me?
Pentecost, yeah.
Like, no, they don't. The red letters mean nothing to them,
Yeah.
right? Like they teach the red letters with the theory of the Old Testament behind it.
You
right?
couldn't fucking dance, go to like high school dances or nothing back home then.
No, like they weren't even allowed to go to like the prom section of our graduation. Like they had, like, you know what I mean?
That's
like it was
gross,
just,
though.
it's so wild.
Remember that?
So, but
when they playing in church, you couldn't have distortion in church on your guitar.
that's wild. Absolutely wild. Yeah. So it's like, I knew I was missing something. I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I knew I was trying to fill the void of something, and I didn't know what it was until I got the Holy Spirit back.
So you didn't know deep down that was a God-shaped hole you were trying to find?
No, I was agnostic my entire life, basically, right? Like I always said to you,
even with the history of it.
Yeah,
okay.
Always, because I was like, because to me, there's no God can expect that of anybody.
Yeah.
So how can you believe in something that expects you to be perfect in order for him to love you?
Yeah, yeah.
That didn't make sense to me. But I also knew that there was something bigger, because I'm not a believer in happenstance. Like, it doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
There is a reason for every moment in your life.
Yeah.
Every step you take in your life, there is a plan behind it and why you're taking that step and why you're going the way you're going. And so whether it was like a universal or whatever it was, I knew there was something higher, but if you couldn't prove it, I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Right? If you could not prove it to me, then you can't prove to me there's a God. I don't believe there's a God. But what happened was God smacked me in the face and was like,
he took you out pretty good.
Hey, I'm here. So, coming into your guys' life, I was battling a lot, which one day we will get into. But he took it. He took everything and all of the bad and said, this is your new life. All you have to do is keep me in your heart.
Yeah.
That is it.
Just say yes. Just
say yes to the things that I'm telling you to do. And you always know, and this is how it's very common when it's what you don't want, or when it's what you want, it's no. How does it go?
Yeah, I think that's right. When it's what you want to do, it's probably not.
If it's something that you don't want to do that doesn't feel comfortable, it's God's
probably
plan.
Holy Spirit.
It's God's plan. But if it's something that you want and you're comfortable with, it's not,
that's
right?
Just intrusive thoughts.
I've always learned over the past 5 years that if it's heavy on my heart and it's like I'm questioning it, if it's like I'm not sure, then I know what the answer is. If it's something that I'm standing firm in and I'm totally positive, then I know that it's God.
Yeah.
And it's just the feeling I get in my heart, and I get that peace about it. She's just eating everything on the carpet. She's so excited right now. If I feel peace, and that peace that you feel when you make the right decision is a peace that you can't explain to anybody.
I think that's a newer generation thing.
The moment that I knew I was missing the Holy Spirit was a high that no drug will ever give you.
Yeah.
And I get that every Sunday in church when we're worshiping. I get that feeling, or every time I listen to a worship song in the Jeep, I know it sounds crazy, but all I listen to in my vehicle is worship music. That's it.
I don't even go that far.
What?
I don't even go that far.
Yeah, that's all I listen to. It's actually a deal that God and I have. Like, I listen to worship music when I'm on my own. That is our thing. I sit in my vehicle and I worship God the whole time. When I'm at the gym, I listen to your music because I'm trying to cut out the negative from, Eminem and Kevin Gates and all my homies. So there's a lot. I mean, we can get into it in another episode, but there's power in the things that you surround yourself with, and I'm a firm believer in that. So there's a lot of specific things that aren't allowed in our house.
Yeah.
Right. And it's because I don't ever want to lose.
You don't want to chance it.
I don't want to lose what I have with
chances.
God. And God and I have such a powerful relationship that it's like, I don't want to lose that. I never want to lose it. So I will spend every day of my life fighting for that relationship with God. And we talk about it all the time. It goes, God, my sobriety, you, the kids.
Yeah.
That's God is first, my sobriety is second, you're third.
Yeah.
And that is how it will always be. And you always said to me, because I looked at you and I was like, I said something one day, this was a couple of years ago.
Fucking hell.
And I said, or somebody said, well, Dave better be your number one. And you looked at me and you said, the day that I'm her number one, this will never work again.
Yep.
This will never work. And they were like, what do you mean? And he said, she needs to always put God and her sobriety above everybody else. And then we come in after.
Yeah.
Because those are the most important. Because without God, I don't have my sobriety. And without my sobriety, I don't have you.
That's right.
Right? So, and I don't have the kids and I don't have this life. So I have to keep, but God is just, he's God. And he's done so many amazing things for us at the times when it's the craziest moments, when we've literally, full disclosure, been in times where we didn't know how we were going to get groceries.
Yeah.
I know everybody thinks you're in Fort McMurray, you've got these extravagant lives, but the cost of living is crazy here. We're spending $1,000 every 2 weeks almost on groceries for 4 people.
Yeah.
And that's because we eat healthy. I mean, if we wanted to have frozen pizzas and stuff every night, it probably only costs us $300. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, and there's, moments when we didn't know that if we were going to get groceries or not. And Cass calls and says, hey, I'm sending you a deposit for a wedding in 2 years.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? And it's just like he always knows what we need and when we need it. And it's not always financial. Let's go back to
remember the time you were, what was going on, but Rick called you at the blue? Yeah.
So that's literally what I was just going to say. What I was going to talk about, actually. It's really funny. That was when Larry Dad was sick.
Right. That's what it was.
And I might actually cry talking about this part, but I was on the couch with you. I am going to cry. Sorry, guys. I was on the couch with you and I looked at you and I was like, I don't want him to die. And as soon as the words came out of my mouth, Pastor Rick called me. You're going to... And I was like... And I picked up the phone and I was crying. And Pastor Rick's like, what? But I was laughing at the same time. And he was like, what is happening? And I was like, I literally just looked at Dave and said, I don't want my dad to die. I need help. And then you called me.
Yep.
And it was in such a moment of darkness because we knew he was going to die. We knew. And I think
that was the first time you'd said it.
And it was the first time because I laid all of my faith on the line on him getting healed. And that's one thing that as Christians that we have to learn is that people die. It sucks. We have to die. It's the circle of life, and it's something. Is it fair? No, but cancer was not God created. Cancer is not here because of God. Cancer is here because of the devil. And cancer is here because of evolution and the way things change and the world and science. And it sucks, but it's a thing. And that was probably because the problem was that my faith was wavering.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go to church. This dog is nuts. I didn't want to go to church. I wasn't reading the Bible. I wasn't listening to my songs. I wasn't doing my normal things because and I know everybody's been here. What kind of a God does something like this, a God who can save and a God who can heal, why are you not healing him? And my faith I was wavering, and I needed something, but it was in the exact moment of my acceptance and realizing that I was going to lose him. God was like, I got you, and here's how. And my pastor called, and he was like, we got you. Like, you know, I know it's, you know, and he prayed through it with me.
What was he say? It just hit him out of the blue that he needed to call you.
I literally was like, why are you calling me? And he was like, I don't know. He said, and he was in the middle actually of a dinner, and he got up from the table to call me.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, so it's like, this is the part that I feel bad for other people not having. It's that assurance and that love and that peace that you get in your heart when God touches you like that, and to show you that he's there is no other greater feeling in the world. And I knew for, you know, and it's moments like that happen where I'm like, this is what I was chasing. This is what I missed, because I had that. I used to have that, and I wanted it because I used to see all of my friends go to, like, what is that big youth conference called back? YC. Yeah, like YC, and they'd come back with all these crazy, amazing stories, and, you know, people literally collapsing, and I'm like, I want to experience that. I want to see that. But in order for me to be allowed to go, I have to promise that I'm not going to do anything outside of what they tell me I can do. So, and that again, like, you know what, so that was a trauma. That was something that I was like, I'm never gonna be good enough for God. So why not be enough for the devil?
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing. And here's the problem. There was that saying, remember that I said to you, I heard it the other day, and it was like, religion is for people afraid to go to hell.
Oh, yeah.
And spirituality is for those who have been there.
Yeah.
So the religion side of it, I feel, is from birth. That's you're taught.
You're
raised in religion. You get your spirituality when you become a Christian.
Yeah.
Like when you're outside of the religion and you come into it, that is where the spirituality side comes from it. I don't think if it wasn't for you guys, I would have never come back to God. I'd probably be dead or in jail. So we already know that. But there's such a big difference, because I hate when people go, Caitlin, I didn't know you were religious.
Yeah.
I'm not religious.
I know.
What do you mean?
It's almost like a bad word.
It is a bad word, because religious is insulting.
Yeah. Religious.
That's where you get, it's Old Testament, right? You're an Old Testament conservative, go Trump person. Like that's, you know what I mean? And I can't
walk by homeless people on the sidewalk. Yeah,
like I look, when somebody says that to me, I go, I'm not religious. And they go, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm a Christian. Yeah. No, they're not the same thing. They're not even
saying a Christian at this point. It's such a
and even saying a Christian is a little bit risky now, because Christians are assholes.
Yeah.
A lot of them. So, but yeah, so I mean, it's I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I started off talking about trauma, and now we're into we're literally talking about God.
It's all connected, babe.
Yeah, no, it is. And so like the thing is that my traumas are mine, and I don't ever want to lose what I got from them.
Yeah. To bring it back.
Yeah. Like I got...
Not everybody's ready to make that.
No. Like for
claim.
me, like my abusive relationship led me every step of the way to you.
Yeah.
Right? So like from Mike... Actually, I don't even fucking care. Whatever. Everybody knows anyway. From him to you... every step was towards you. It led me right into you.
Yeah.
Because had I not moved in with that crazy bitch and her knowing Big Mike, he got me the job at Showgirls, which introduced me to Holly, which brought you in, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put you back into whatever. So it was like, you know what I mean? All these things happen, but I would never have moved in with her.
This chain of dominoes that just clicked.
If I had never called the police that night. So, and also my fellow criminals. I'm not a cop caller, but that night I was. I don't call the cops, but I didn't have a choice. So, I mean, I'm sure there's somebody else I could have, but then it would have been a homicide. So,
yeah,
I would have been a completely different crime scene. So, I was not up for that. I just wanted to get out of there. So, I got that from like so many of them where they're like, why didn't you call me? And I'm like, because I knew what would have happened if I called somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, but yeah, so that's it. That's my rant on trauma and God.
Wild.
Yeah. Going back to it, Leia also thinks that me falling asleep to those documentaries is another one of my serial killer traits.
Oh yeah. That's definitely.
But my actual serial killer trait is the fact that when I put my socks in the drawer, they all have to be facing the same way.
That is pretty weird.
Yes.
What was mine? You said it. I couldn't think of one that I had. Nothing.
I can't remember it.
Oh well.
I think it was the... Text Leia, she'll tell you. Everybody has a serial, like one weird little thing that they do that, like, when they do it, you like look at them and you're like,
that guy's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, you're gonna kill somebody. For sure. It's very funny. Yeah. So, but yeah, so she thinks it's like, because she's like, Mom, like, I can watch them, but I definitely can't fall asleep to them.
No, that's pretty weird.
As like background noise.
But now that you've explained it, I do get it. I mean, I don't relate, but I do totally get it.
Oh, like I could literally watch like shows about domestic violence and all of that, and like homicide, like all of that, and like shows about like there's so much background noise going on because of her. I just, yeah, it makes me feel like I'm not alone because it's reassurance that others have gone through it. I'm like literally, as I'm having this entire conversation, all I'm thinking about is the questions and comments coming from Tokyo Mike. Like I'm literally gonna have to like explain myself.
She said that the fact that you can eat the same thing for years and not get sick of it. She says that's not the one, but she doesn't remember the other one. That's true though.
That's not really it. I think it was. I gotta think about it. I'm not really sure what it was, but it was a good one. Is it I don't know. Anyway, we'll come back to it.
Doesn't matter.
I'll tell you about it next week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later.
Tell you about it next week.
So what phase are you on? Let's do a phase update.
My ADHD phase?
Yeah.
I am still flatlined, I think.
Because you went to football phase.
Oh, no, I'm still there.
Yeah.
It's still football season,
shit
baby.
got kind of topsy-turvy when you started school and stuff.
Yeah, I went into overstimulated for a little bit, but we're back in football phase again. Boys won 34 today. Thank you. Yeah, 34-13.
When's the game against the Browns? Whatever.
November.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
November.
we're still going to put that one on the map. Put it up on the map.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so...
I think we just... I don't know, we forgot about the phases, actually. I forgot doing, like, updates, but I know, like, we've gone into... I haven't hit my wall in a long time.
No, I don't think you've hit it since we started.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
So maybe this...
You bounced around overstimulation a little bit.
I think you know what it is,
There's
too.
There's been nothing new, though.
The gym has been my biggest one to help me stop. Like, I feel like it's coming. I haven't been to the gym because I've been sick.
Yeah.
I just could not. And, like, I honestly probably don't think I should, but I'm going to go back tomorrow.
For your mental health.
For my mental health. And that's like, I, guys, will be in the worst mood. Like, snapping at everybody, like crying over everything. And then I go to the gym and I'm like, okay, so what are we going to do now? And you're like, yeah, I told you, girl.
Yep.
So I don't go to the gym to get skinny. I do it so I don't kill people. Or myself.
And I really appreciate it. All right. So what's your grievance?
It's just a suicide joke on the podcast. That was... Sorry, self-harm.
Whatever. We do all the topics. We hit them all. But we hit them in a way that's laughable. So
yeah,
makes it okay.
Yeah.
The tradition begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.
My grievance?
You got a grievance this week? It's been 3 weeks, so you should have a lot of ammo.
No.
No?
No, I don't have one.
Okay.
I mean, Trump, but... Did you see this whole thing with the Call Her Daddy podcast that's going on?
The one that...
with Alex?
Kamala was on?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, though.
Okay, so...
I just know that Kamala was on it.
It was her and another girl...
Kamala?
Kamala. Yeah. It was her and another girl initially. And...
Who is she?
So, she's Alex...
Trebek?
Cooper?
Alice Cooper.
Alex Cooper. So she has a podcast called Call Her Daddy.
Yeah.
So initially this podcast started. So Barstool.
Yeah. I know Barstool.
Yeah. So they were very well known as being misogynistic and not for the woman. So
that's kind of the the pizza guy Dave didn't start it to be like that, but after he left, that's
where it went.
Yeah.
So they hired Alex and this other girl, I think her name was Rachel, to do a podcast for under Barstool Sports.
Yeah.
The other girl left, and so they just kind of used them to like blanket the misogyny and the anti-feminism.
Just as a token to say.
Yeah, kind of thing. So the other girl left, and Alex got bought out by somebody else, and now she runs the whole thing on her own. She's huge. She's had like Avril Lavigne, Katy Perry, all like every influencer and she just basically goes, she talks about women's rights and mental health, and she's very straight and to the point. She's no bullshit. So she...
No nonsense.
Yeah, no nonsense. She invited both Vice President Harris and former President Trump onto her podcast, and he declined. She said yes, and it was an amazing interview that showed such a good side, because she never gets into politics. She never will give her stance on any topics, or she doesn't get into the politics side of things. Girl, you are a lot today.
Trump said no?
Yeah, he declined.
That's weird. He went on Aiden Ross's Twitch channel. Like, he'll do anything.
I know. But he's been doing this a lot lately.
Seems
like
targeted.
with 60 Minutes and all that kind of stuff. He's done it on a couple of things. So anyway, so Kamala went on, and it was like an amazing interview, but she lost like thousands of followers because they were all followers that carried over from Barstool.
Oh yeah.
So they're all mega whatever, right? So now he's going around calling Alex dumb. She's very dumb, this girl. She's very stupid.
Who is? Oh, Trump.
Yeah. She's very stupid, this girl. This girl is very dumb. But he's never had a conversation with her.
Yeah.
He's never talked to her. What is wrong with you? So she, and then she actually went and stood outside of one of the abortion clinics where she lives, and just was like interviewing people.
Yeah.
So it was, anyway, she's Call Her Daddy. Her podcast is amazing. I love it.
She sounds
she's amazing.
Pretty decent.
Yeah. She's really good. But anyway, yeah, so Trump is just my constant grievance. He's just dumb.
The election's in November, so it's almost over.
Let's go.
Yeah, until the next.
Can't wait.
Until the next fucking thing.
Can't wait for her to go back on all her promises. So excited.
Yeah, can't wait to go back to old politics where they just lie to you and don't do the stuff that they promised.
Yeah, can we just go back to that?
Yeah.
Like where they promise to do things and they just don't do them?
Yeah, I'm tired of hearing about it every fucking day.
Yeah. So yeah, do you have a grievance?
I do, but it's not about you. It's about, so Israel bombed Lebanon. Mm-hmm. Pagers and shit.
I remember when I was like, what the fuck is going on in Lebanon? Why is there people in airports screaming? And you were like, babe, they got bombed. And I was like,
yeah. They did like some James Bond shit, blew up all their pagers. Then they did it again.
Yeah.
And then they actually bombed them.
Yeah.
And then Iran bombed Israel. Israel, then the States helped Israel defend it.
Yeah.
And Christians are just like, fuck yeah, Israel, do it. You know, go on.
Yeah.
My grievance is with...
Christians?
Yes, it is.
I knew it.
Evangelical, revelation, thirsty Christians that
the end of times are coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got these Christians that are so... They're all in on the rapture and the end of times, and that they don't give a fuck about anybody else.
For those of you just tuning in, the rapture means that Jesus is coming down just to save certain people and take us all up to heaven, and while everyone else dies. This is
a concept that almost every Christian believes, but it was only invented 200 years ago. It's not real. It's not a thing. But
I thought in the Bible it says that he comes back 3 times.
All of Revelation was basically written about Christians living in Roman rule 1,000 years ago.
I know, but I thought in the Bible it says when Jesus dies, he'll come back 3 times. So he came back the first time, then he showed himself. So that I thought this all stems from because there's a third time that he hasn't come back yet.
He is supposed to come back.
Yeah,
but there's no rapture. There's no tribulation, 7 years of war and famine and shit. There's no Antichrist. All that stuff, that imagery that people thought the end of times was built on in Revelation, was written about the Roman Empire. It was meant to be like metaphors on how Christians are supposed to live and how they can define themselves from the Roman rule and all that shit. So
there's no like 7 days of like...
The moon's not going to turn to blood. All that...
The doors aren't going to turn to blood.
Doors?
Yeah. Not doors. The bugs. What are they called? Bugs? Because just so everybody knows, I'm not an educated Christian at all.
She's learning. She's doing really good considering you're still so new at it. Anyway, the whole Christians are still all in on this. And they believe that when Israel gets Israel back, when the Jews get Israel back and they build their temple, that's the defining moment that triggers the rapture and the tribulation and the revelation and the end of the world. That's why every evangelical Christian is all in on Israel bombing the shit out of Palestine and Gaza and everybody else, because once Israel gets in there and builds their temple, that's going to end the world. So this is what they're all in on. They've fetishized it so much that they don't give a fuck about all the kids that are dying or anybody else that lives around. They just want this to happen. Yeah, exactly. That's just it.
They get to go to Jesus.
So they can disappear and leave everybody else behind. And I'm fucking, it's been bugging me a lot the last couple of weeks.
I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
because Christians are like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
And it's so commonplace that, like, even I know most Christians I know, they're for Israel. I mean, yeah, I'm for Israel, I'm for everybody. But like Christians. That's it. I mean, I guess it ties in with the rest of everything else today. Christians are so hard-nosed into their...
Damn you, Christians.
Yeah. Damn you. All right, that's my grievance.
Cool. High five.
Bedtime?
Yeah.
Come on.
My back is broke.
We're going to have to move these a little closer together, I think.
My back is broke. Why? You notice? What are you doing? No. You're the reason why I'm over here.
This is how much space you want between us?
Are you going to get any closer?
Let me look at the...
All right, then. right, guys. That's it.
That's it. We'll be back next week
Yep.
for episode 14. So that's how we look.
Cool. Thanks for hearing me out.
Like us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the socials, YouTube. If you're just listening, Spotify or anywhere else you get your podcasts, you can actually go watch us act the fool on YouTube. YouTube.com/RD0Dave. You can get them all on there. And I play music and stuff on there too. Also,
Shameless plug.
shameless plug for me or for the donate. Don't forget to donate, bitches. And we still haven't figured out exactly what we're going to do for the donators. But hey, you want to support us so we can do this every fucking week and not skip 2 weeks at a time because of work and shit? Donate, bitches.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Bye.
What do you say? Thanks for hearing me out? Or did you say it
I
already?
already said it.
You already said it. Okay.
I'll say it again. Okay, thanks for hearing me out.
Bye.
Bye.
I fall asleep right here in this chair.
I'm done. Get me out of here.